So now we will see the next questions. The next question was asked in 2020. So let's see the questions. A parliamentary system of government is one in which. So we need to find a parliamentary system of government, right? So as we know that India had adopted a parliamentary form of government, parliamentary form of government from UK model. Clear? So now let's see. So the first option, all political parties in parliament are represented in the government. Yes, it is one of the feature of this, right? So but let's see the another options. The government is responsible to the parliament and can be removed by it. Yes, this is the main reason why the framers of constitution has opted. The framer of constitution had adopted the parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government over presidential form of government. So if you see the difference between the parliamentary form of government and presidential form of government, so to understand the difference we can see here that in this is parliamentary form of government and this is presidential form of government. So in parliamentary form of government, the government or executive is responsible to legislature, whereas in presidential the executive are not responsible to legislature. So this is the main reason, or this is the main cause why the framers of the constitution has adopted a parliamentary form of government over presidential form of government. Now through this representations, the power is given to the people of India who choose their representatives in a form of member of parliament to govern through them. Is it clear? And now in this governor, if the executives are to be part of an legislature, so the power given to the MPs through people that they can remove the government also. So this is the why the second option is true, which says the government is responsible to parliamentary form of and can it be removed by the parliament? Yes, through no confidence motions. And this form of this also is stated through Article 74 of the Constitution, which says that the Council of Ministers shall be in the house till they enjoy the confidence of the house. So this is based on that theory on the basis of 74, right? If you see the third options, the government is elected by people and can be removed by them. No. So the government, though the people elect the representative into the assembly and the government is removed by the representative. So indirectly, yes, the peoples are responsible for removal, but not directly. They are responsible indirectly through their representatives. So the peoples were not directly involved in removing of the government. Clear? So this cannot be the answer. If you see the last options, the government is chosen by parliament but cannot be removed by it before completion of fiction. No, this is also not the case. So government is not chosen by the people. Rather, the government is formed on the basis of voted by people, right? And they are being removed by the parliament. So this cannot be also the answer. So the best appropriate answers in the parliamentary form of government is the government is responsible to the parliament and can be removed by them. Now if you see what is parliamentary systems and its feature, if you see, so let's see the features of the, first we'll see the what is parliamentary form of government. So the parliamentary form of government, the constitution seeks to establish parliamentary form of government both at the center and state. So the constitution has provided for parliamentary form of government for two tier, that is center and state. Indian parliamentary system, distinction is made between the nominal and executive head. Yes, in Indian parliamentary systems we have a two head. One is a head of state and the another is a head of government. So this head of state headed by president. President in India is known as a head of state, whereas a prime minister is known as a head of a government, right? And this head of a state is known as a nominal head, and this prime minister, that is head of a government, is known as a executive head or real executive head, rather we should say, and this is a nominal executive head. Now why it is known as a nominal executive head, president? Because the president has no functions that he can functions without council of ministers advice. So president has to functions or act on the advice of council of ministers. So all the power is under the prime ministers, which is head of a council of ministers. Clear? Is it clear? Now next is the parliamentary system. The parliamentary system of government holds the executive accountable to lower house. Yes. Now if suppose that instead of parliament, we need to understand that they is responsible to Lok Sabha. Specifically government is responsible to Lok Sabha. So to the lower house they are responsible. Now many of you can have a doubt, why not to the parliament but to specifically to the Lok Sabha. So as we can see that the parliament in India have a bicameral feature, bicameral legislations, right? It means having a two houses. So if we see that parliament in India having a two houses, one is a Lok Sabha, also known as a lower house, and one is a Rajya Sabha, also known as upper house. Now this lower house is known as a house of people. House of people means all the representative in this house are chosen directly by the people, right? And this Lok Sabha upper house is known as an state house or house of elders, or a state representative. So member of this house are not directly chosen, they are not directly elected, rather they have been indirectly elected. Now indirectly elected means, so the people choose members to state legislative assembly, and the members of state legislative assembly choose members to Rajya Sabha. So because of this feature of the members of Rajya Sabha, they have been known as an indirectly elected. So because as through this we can see, so the lower house which has been directly representative of people. So because of this feature, so the government is responsible to lower house, and through lower house they are indirectly responsible to people, right? So because of this, the government is responsible to lower house or Lok Sabha, and it can be removed by the Lok Sabha specifically if we talk, but in general term, yes, it is responsible to parliament. Is it clear? Now if you see the features of the parliamentary form of government. So features, the first feature of the parliamentary form of government is nominal and executive. We have seen nominal executive and real executive. Nominal, head of the state, that is president. Here we have seen, and real executive, that is prime minister, head of a government. Dual membership. Now this dual membership means a member which is a member of council of ministers having a power of executive, and at the same time he is also a member of legislature. So this means they have a dual membership. Now this dual membership does not mean that the person is member to both house. Dual membership means that a member who is a council of minister is a both. He is a member as an executive also and is also a legislative member. Clear? Now this collective responsibility, that council of minister are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. Leader of prime minister, a leader of prime ministerial, yes, it is also true. Why? Because as we know that to form a government in India, to form a government of India, the party needs to secure majority of seat in the house. So the party who acquire the majority of seats in the house, and the leader of that party will be chosen as a prime minister. Because of this, it is known as a leadership of prime ministerial. Take majority party rule. Yes, this is also true, as we have seen that the party who will attain the majority of seats in the Lok Sabha will be known as a majority party, and the leader of that majority party will be appointed as a prime minister. And the next feature is bicameral legislature. It means having a two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Is it clear? So these are the features of parliamentary form of government. Clear? Now we'll move to the next questions. Now next questions was asked in 2020. Now let's see the questions. In the context of India, which one of the following is the characteristic appropriate for the bureaucracy? So this question is, we can say it is on the base of concept related to bureaucracy, right? Now first of all we should know what is bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is a system of administration wherein there is a specialization of functions, objective qualification for office, actions according to the adherence to fixed rules, and hierarchy of authority and delegated power. So this is bureaucracy. Now this bureaucracy means civil servant. Talking about the civil servant. So here we need to find the appropriate characteristic of civil servant. So there may be a many options, more than one having a characteristic, but we need to find the appropriate. Clear? Now if we analyze the options given, so let's see. An agency widening the scope of parliamentary democracy. Yes, it is true, they have been widening the scope of parliamentary democracy. Now let's find whether it is an appropriate. So for that we need to analyze the next. An agency for strengthening the structure of federalism. This is not structure. This is not the feature of civil servant or bureaucracy. Is not strengthening the federalism. Rather, it is a criticism to the federalism. That bureaucracy is hampering the functions of federalisms. Now, how they are hampering the federalism structure of federalism? So for that we understand that in India we have three types of all India services. All India services. If we talk about the all India services, as we know there are three all India services: Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, and Indian Forest Service. So these are the three in all India services administrative. So their appointment authority and their recruitment authority has been done through center, through a specialized agency which is known as an Union Public Service Commission. So this commissions recommend the name through examination to center, and then the concerned ministry will present that recommendation to president, and president will appoint them, right? Now they will be appointed by the center, but they will work under the state administrations, right? So state has no role in their appointment. State has no role in the appointment first, and second, that they have not also any role in the dismissals, but they are to be paid out of, they are to be paid out of the state consolidated fund. Consolidated fund means state has to bear their cost of running for the administrations, but state are not playing any role in their appointment, in their dismissals. So because of this criticism, it was sometime criticized, it is sometimes criticized that they are hampering the federal structure. So this cannot be our answer. Is it clear? If we see the next, an agency for facilitating political stability and economic growth, they are facilitating for economic growth, but they are not facilitating for the political stability. Why? Because the bureaucracy is to be need to be unbiased against the against the political structure. It means they should not be affiliated to any political party. They should not promote any political party. They should not take part in their any political agenda. It means they are not responsible for political stability. So this cannot be our also answer. So now we are left with the option A and the last option, that is an agency for the implementation of public policies. Yes, the main job of the bureaucracy is to implement the public policies, which this public policy has been created through parliament at the center and state legislature at state level. Clear? So whatever the law or the policy which is to be created by the parliament, ministries at the center or state legislature, that the responsibility to implement under the bureaucracy. Because of this functions of an bureaucracy, the bureaucracy is known as a permanent executive. Permanent executive. Hope this is clear. Okay? So, and because of this nature, this is the main appropriate characteristic we can say about the bureaucracy. Okay? So here we have seen what is bureaucracy. So now if you see the major objective of bureaucracy in India has not been parliamentary democracy expansions. Is it clear? But rather the implementation of decision taken by the executive. It means all the decision taken at the level of parliament or the state legislature, they have been implementing agency. With all India services at the helm of major bureaucratic structure, it cannot be said that strengthening of federal structure is its main characteristic, and we have seen why it is not been considered as a strengthening of structural federalism. Clear? So you have seen the main objective. The major objective is not to parliamentary expansions, but we can say that the major objective is to implementation of the public policy which is formulated by the parliament or the state legislative assembly. It's clear? So let's move to the next question. So next question asked in 2019. Now the question is about, in the context of polity, which one of the following would you accept as the most appropriate definition of liberty? So here we again need to find the most appropriate. So it again, I will say there may be a many options where you can find a definition of liberty or which falls under the definition of liberty, but we need to find the most among them, that is most appropriate among them. Okay? So let's see the options. So the protection against tyranny of political rule. So liberty is a protection against tyranny of political rulers. So it is not only against the political rulers but against the executive also, against the government also, right? So absence of restraint. So it means there is absence of restrictions. So liberty means an absence of restrictions. No, liberty does not come with the absence of restrictions. It means the liberty does not come as an absolute liberty, right? It comes with the restrictions. It comes with restrictions or restraint. So this cannot be also our answer. Opportunity to do well, whatever one like. If it says that it is an opportunity to do whatever one's like, it means that it is hampering the others' liberty. If someone is given an opportunity to do what he like, it means it will hamper the others' liberty. And if someone's others liberty is been hampered, so that society is not providing a complete liberty. So liberty is always a restrictions. It is coming with the restrictions, and this the third option is can be defined as an absolute liberty where there is no restrictions. It means if someone who is wealthier or someone is influential, he can do what he want. It means, and by doing that he can hamper the minorities or the one who has been lacking with the political power or economic, their liberty can be hampered. right? So this cannot be our also answer. Next, opportunity to develop oneself fully. Yes, this liberty is providing an opportunity to everyone to develop his overall personality. We can say that. Clear? So this is our answer D. Now let's see the explanations. So it is a duty of the state to provide and protect the liberty to every individual in such a way that whatever an individual wants to do, he or she can proceed without any restrictions, but implied with some restrictions means to say that what and how much liberty is provided to the people. So it is of a duty to provide a liberty, restrictions on the use of liberty. So nature of liberty means the liberty does not imply that freedom without any restrictions. It comes with the restrictions as we have seen. It means that an individual cannot do the unreasonable things or act which is not good for the society. Is it clear? So liberty means the presence of such favorable conditions which is necessary for the enjoyment of rights of an individuals and the development of his personality. Liberty is a freedom to do anything, but that act or things must be considered by the state. It means it comes with a restriction. It means the state has a power to put restrictions on the enjoyment of liberty. It is a liberty which provides enormous opportunity to all to the use of their rights. Law is considered as an essential to maintain the conditions which are necessary for enjoyment of liberty. Liberty got the priority just after the right to life. Is it clear? So the answer to this question is D. Okay. Now let's move to the next questions. Next question is also been asked in 2019. 2019. So what the question says, which one of the following reflects the nicest appropriate relationship between law and liberty? Right? Now what is the relation between law and liberty? Nicest means most appropriate, we can say that. Okay. So let's analyze the option. So first option say if there are no laws, there is less liberty. Yes, if there is no law, there will be no liberty. Not less, but there will be no liberty. Everyone, it will be a scenarios of an, we can say that tyranny of the systems, right? Second, if there are no laws, there is no liberty. Yes, this is true with the concept. If there is no law, there will be no liberty, because if there is no law, there will be a chaos in society. Chaos in society. It means might is right as situations can be arise. Might is right types of situations arise. मतलब जो जिसके पास पावर है वो कुछ भी कर सकता है, और जिसके पास पावर नहीं है वो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता. Is in surrendering his liberty to the power, right? If there is liberty, law has to be made by the people. No, this is not true, otherwise it may be a true. If laws change too often, liberty is in danger. This is also not true. Why? Because laws has to be changed according to the circumstances, and through changing of the laws, liberties can be provided more openly, right? Like if we see during the commencement of constitution during 1950s and 60s, there are laws related to freedom of speech and expressions, which is very constrained. But after the advent of the LPGs, liberalization, privatizations, and globalizations, and advent of the fourth digital revolution, we can say that this freedom, that is liberty or freedom of express, has included the freedom of internet, right? Right to life, and right to speech and everything through social media also, which includes a social media, right? So this is, we can say that if law are changed too often, liberty is not danger, rather its scope has been widened. Is it clear? So our answer is B, where if there is no liberty, No law, there is no liberty. Now let's see the explanations. Liberty is a fundamental right to all citizens of a nation. Our preamble clearly states that the citizens enjoy the liberty of thoughts, expressions, worship, faith, and belief. This comes under the Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. There need to be a balance between law and liberty. One cannot enjoy either of the two in an absolute manner. Yes, it is true. The state shall be allowed to interfere only to prevent the liberty of other citizens, keeping in mind to not hinder one's personal liberty. Law without liberty will hinder very core of democracy, and liberty without law will bring nothing but anarchy in the society. In a democratic form of government, liberty is treated as a top priority as the government is elected to serve the people and in favor of it. Law acts as safeguard of liberty. Judiciary, being the independent body and guardian of the Constitution of India, makes sure that no law that hinders the liberty of its citizen is practiced, or no new bill is passed which hinders the liberty of individuals. Clear? Okay, let's move to the next questions. Now if you see the next question, the question was asked in 2018. So next question says that which of the following are regarded as a main feature of rule of law, right? So again we need to find the main feature of rule of law. So if we see the limitation of power, equality before law, people responsibility to the government, liberty and civil liberty. So out of these we need to find the correct answer using the code below. So rule of law means a constitutionalism. So constitutionalism means the government has a limited power. Yes, it is true. So B cannot be our answer. Then equality before law. Yes, it should. The constitutionalism should protect the equality before law. This is also true. So A cannot be our answer, right? Now people's responsibility to government. No, government responsibility to people. Government responsibility to people. So people are not responsible towards government, rather governments are responsible towards people. So third cannot be our answer. So if you see the options, so third is not the answer. So we are left with the 1, 2 and 4 only, means liberty and civil rights are provided to everybody in the rule of law. Clear? Now if you see what is rule of law, so rule of law refers to a complete dominance over the influence of arbitrary power and discretionary power of government. The term rule of law is nowhere defined in Indian constitutions. Rule of law has been declared by Supreme Court as one of the basic feature of constitution and is seen as an integral part of good governance, right? It is the cornerstone of our democracy. So we must have an independent and impartial judiciary, which is the preserver and protector of rule of law. So rule of law, to maintain rule of law, it is important that judiciary should be independent. Clear? Now if you see the characteristic of the rule of law, so there must be a supremacy of law. No one should be above law. Everybody is equal before law, which talks about by under Article 14 of the Constitutions. It states that no one can be prosecuted unless or until he or she has violated the law. It protects against the arbitrary action of men. All the action of organ of the government must be accordance with the laws, whether been executive or legislature or judiciary. So they all should function in the accordance with the law, means it is putting limitations on them, putting limitations on government. The judiciary is a preserver and protector of the law. Yes, we have seen how the judiciary is to preserve the rule of law. It takes into account the principle of natural justice. It is a fundamental basis of democracies around the world. So rule of law is a fundamental basis. Is it clear?